Captain Nadia Volkov stood at the observation deck of the EAS Stormbreaker, her weathered hands clasped behind her back as she studied the strange phenomenon that had brought her ship to the edge of explored space. The quantum distortion rippled like a tear in reality's fabric, casting prismatic waves across the vessel's reinforced viewport. "Captain," Lieutenant Dresden's voice crackled through the ship's comm system, "the quantum readings are off the charts. Whatever this anomaly is, it's unlike anything in our database." Nadia's steel-gray eyes narrowed as she watched another wave of energy pulse from the tear. 23 years of deep space exploration had taught her that the unknown usually came with a price. "Run a full spectrum analysis, Dresden. I want to know everything about this thing before we get any closer." The Stormbreaker was Earth's newest long-range exploration vessel, built for exactly these kinds of missions. Its quantum sensors and advanced AI systems made it the perfect tool for probing the mysteries of deep space. But something about this particular mystery made Nadia's skin crawl. "Captain." First Officer Kai Rodriguez burst onto the observation deck, his dark features twisted with concern. "We're picking up something emerging from the anomaly." The tear in space suddenly expanded, its edges crackling with blue-white energy. From its depths emerged a vessel unlike anything Nadia had ever seen. Its hull seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, creating a void in the star-filled expanse of space. The ship's design defied conventional engineering, with geometric patterns that seemed to shift and change as she watched. "Battle stations," Nadia ordered, her voice calm despite the adrenaline surging through her system. "Raise shields and power up defensive systems, but do not arm weapons. Let's not start a war today." The crew responded with practiced efficiency. Within seconds, the Stormbreaker's advanced shield grid hummed to life, creating a protective bubble around the ship. "Unknown vessel is scanning us," Dresden reported from his station. "Their energy signature is..." "Captain, their power readings are astronomical. They could power Earth's entire grid for a year with what they're putting out right now." The alien ship suddenly released a pulse of energy that washed over the Stormbreaker like a wave. The ship's systems flickered momentarily before stabilizing. "That was a communication attempt," Lieutenant Yuki Tanaka called from the communications station. "Their language patterns are complex, but the AI is processing them now." Moments later, a holographic projection materialized in the center of the observation deck. The being that appeared was tall and ethereal, with crystalline features that caught and reflected light in impossible ways. Its form seemed to shift between solid and energy with each movement. "Children of Earth," the being spoke, its words translated by the ship's AI. "I am Nexus Guide Chiron of the Kethera Dominion. Your presence has been noted, and your fate has been sealed." Nadia stepped forward, her expression resolute. "I am Captain Nadia Volkov of the Earth Alliance ship Stormbreaker. We are on a peaceful mission of exploration." The crystalline being's form pulsed with dark energy. "Your mission is irrelevant. The Kethera have observed your species for some time. Your potential for advancement threatens the natural order. The Dominion has decreed that preventative measures must be taken." "Threatening a peaceful vessel is an act of war," Nadia warned. Though she knew the Stormbreaker stood little chance against the advanced technology they were witnessing. "War implies equality of force," Chiron responded. "What comes for your world is not war. It is correction. You have been warned." The hologram disappeared, and the alien vessel began to retreat toward the anomaly. "They're charging weapons," Dresden shouted. "Emergency quantum jump," Nadia ordered. "Get us out of here, now." The Stormbreaker's quantum drive engaged just as the alien vessel fired. The energy beam missed them by meters, but the shockwave caught the edge of their shields, sending the ship tumbling through quantum space. When they emerged from the jump, the alien vessel and the anomaly were gone, but Nadia knew this was just the beginning. She turned to her crew, their faces pale but determined. "Set course for Earth, maximum speed," she commanded. "And get me a priority channel to Fleet Command. We need to warn them about what's coming." As the Stormbreaker raced through space, Nadia stared at the stars streaking past. Humanity had thought itself alone in facing the mysteries of the cosmos. Now they knew differently, and that knowledge came with a terrible price. The warning lights of war were flashing, and Earth had precious little time to prepare for what lurked beyond the quantum veil. The question wasn't if the Kethera would return. The question was whether humanity would be ready when they did. Dr. Junwei stood before the holographic display in his laboratory on Mars Station, his tired eyes reflecting the shimmer of quantum calculations that filled the air around him. 3 weeks had passed since the Stormbreaker's encounter, and he hadn't slept more than 4 hours a night since receiving the data from that fateful meeting. Run simulation Delta 7 again, he commanded the lab's AI. Focus on the energy signature from their weapons system. The hologram shifted, displaying the moment the Kethera vessel fired at the Stormbreaker. June leaned forward, his weathered hands moving through the light patterns, manipulating the data stream with practiced precision. Dr. Wei, a voice interrupted his concentration. The Helix Alliance representatives have arrived. June turned to find his assistant, Dr. Priya Patel, standing in the doorway. Behind her were 3 beings that represented humanity's best hope for survival. The first was Clara, a meridian whose bioluminescent skin cast a soft blue glow across the lab. Behind her stood Zex, 427, an artificial intelligence housed in a hovering mechanical form, representing the Machine Collective. The third was Ambassador Vorln, a massive arthropodian whose species had fought the Kethera centuries ago and barely survived. "Welcome to Mars Station," June said, bowing slightly. "I wish we were meeting under better circumstances. Time is against us, Dr. Wei." Clara spoke, her voice melodious but urgent. "The Kethera never issue empty threats. They will come, and they will bring a force unlike anything your species has encountered." June nodded, gesturing to the holographic display. "That's why I asked you here. We've been analyzing the quantum signature of their weapons technology, and we've found something unusual." He manipulated the display, zooming in on the molecular level of the energy beam that had nearly destroyed the Stormbreaker. Their weapons don't just destroy matter, they unravel it at the quantum level. But look here. The image shifted again, showing a microscopic anomaly in the beam's pattern. There's a flaw in their approach. A vulnerability we might be able to exploit. Zex, for 27 floated closer to the display, its optical sensors processing the data. Fascinating. The Kethera weapons systems appear to generate a quantum resonance cascade, but the pattern contains a harmonic instability. Precisely, June confirmed. But developing a defense against it requires technology we don't possess. That's why we need the Helix Alliance. Ambassador Vorln clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. The Alliance Council remains divided. Many fear that helping Earth will bring the Kethera's wrath upon all our worlds. "They'll come for you eventually anyway," a new voice interrupted. Colonel Reena Patel strode into the lab, her Space Force uniform bearing the marks of recent combat exercises. "We've intercepted communications suggesting they're already planning campaigns against 3 other species." June watched as the Alliance representatives exchanged glances. He understood their hesitation. The Kethera were a force of nature, a species so advanced that fighting them seemed futile. But he had seen something in their technology, a weakness born of their own advancement. "Show them," he told Priya. His assistant activated a secondary hologram, displaying a prototype defense system. "We call it the quantum mirror," June explained. In theory, it could reflect the Kethera's own weapon energy back at them, using their quantum unraveling effect against their own ships. The power requirements would be enormous. Zex, for 27 observed. "That's where we need your help," June acknowledged. The Machine Collective's energy matrices, combined with Meridian crystal technology and Vorln radiation shielding, together, we might have a chance. Clara stepped forward, her bioluminescence pulsing with interest. "The risk is significant, but the potential." She touched the hologram, her fingers trailing through the light. "This could change everything." Suddenly, the station's alarms blared to life. Colonel Patel rushed to a nearby console. "Multiple quantum signatures detected at the edge of the solar system," she reported, her voice tense. "It's not the main Kethera fleet, but..." A scouting force, Ambassador Vorn finished. They're testing your defenses. June looked at each of the Alliance representatives in turn. We're out of time for debate. Either we stand together, or we fall one by one. The Kethera aren't just coming for Earth. They're coming for any species that might one day challenge their dominion. Clara's skin flashed with patterns of decision and resolve. The Meridians will help. The Machine Collective calculates a 73% higher survival probability through cooperation. Zex, for 27 declared. We will assist. All eyes turned to Ambassador Vorn. The massive arthropodian rose to his full height. My people remember the darkness of Kethera occupation. We will not allow another species to suffer that fate. You have the support of the Vorn Confederacy. Colonel Patel was already coordinating with Earth's defense forces, but she paused long enough to nod at June. They had done it. The alliance they desperately needed was forming. Get me everything you have on your technologies, June told the representatives as he turned back to his workstation. We have days, maybe hours, to create a working prototype. As the lab burst into activity, June spared one last glance at the tactical display showing the approaching Kethera scouts. Somewhere out there, the main invasion fleet was gathering, preparing to correct humanity's existence. But they didn't know what was happening in this lab on Mars, didn't know that their greatest strength was about to become their critical weakness. The stars above Mars Station were silent, but soon they would witness either humanity's greatest triumph or its final moments. Junwei intended to make sure it was the former. Commander Rashid Hassan stood on the bridge of the EAS Prometheus, watching as the combined fleet of Earth and its new allies took formation near Jupiter's orbit. The massive gas giant loomed behind them, its swirling storms a fitting backdrop for what was about to unfold. Status report, he called out, his voice steady despite the weight of command pressing down on his shoulders. Lieutenant Dex Young, his tactical officer, responded promptly. Earth Defense Fleet is in position. Meridian crystalline ships are aligned on our port side. The Machine Collective's vessels have taken up their positions on starboard. Vorn battle cruisers are maintaining rear guard. Rashid nodded, studying the tactical display. 200 ships in total, the largest combined fleet ever assembled in Earth's solar system. Yet against what was coming, it might not be enough. Commander, his communications officer, Zara Thompson, called out. Priority message from Mars Station. DR. Way reports the quantum mirror prototypes are ready for deployment. They're being distributed to the fleet now. A series of lights on the tactical display turned green as ships received their defensive upgrades. The quantum mirror technology was untested in actual combat, but it was their best hope against the Kethera's overwhelming technological superiority. Unknown quantum signatures detected, Lieutenant Young suddenly announced. Multiple contacts emerging from subspace. By the stars. The tactical display lit up with hundreds of new contacts. The Kethera invasion fleet had arrived, their dark ships emerging from quantum space like a swarm of deadly insects. Their vessels seemed to absorb the light from nearby stars, creating an artificial eclipse that stretched across space. All ships, battle stations, Rashid ordered, his voice carrying across the fleet-wide channel. This is what we've prepared for. Remember your training. Remember what we're fighting for. The first wave of Kethera ships accelerated toward their position, their weapons charging with that distinctive quantum energy signature they learned to recognize. But this time, they were ready. Activate quantum mirrors, Rashid commanded. Across the fleet, the defensive systems hummed alive, creating a web of quantum-sensitive fields designed to catch and reflect the Kethera's own energy weapons. The enemy fired first, a barrage of quantum dissolution beams that would have normally torn their ships apart at the molecular level. Instead, the beam struck the quantum fields and reflected back, catching 3 Kethera vessels in their own destructive energy. The alien ships disintegrated, their matter unraveling in a spectacular display of scientific principles turned to warfare. It works, Lieutenant Young exclaimed. The quantum mirrors are functioning exactly as designed. But the Kethera weren't the most advanced species in known space for nothing. Their fleet quickly adapted, changing their attack patterns and energy frequencies. The battle devolved into a complex dance of quantum mechanics and tactical warfare. Commander Hassan, a new voice cut through the chaos. A holographic figure appeared on the bridge, an elderly woman in ceremonial robes. I am Keeper Vera of the Viridian Archive. We detected the battle from our hidden observation post in the Kuiper Belt. There's something you need to know. Rashid raised an eyebrow, dividing his attention between the mysterious figure and the ongoing battle. We're a little busy at the moment, Keeper. The Cathera aren't what you think they are, Vera continued urgently. We've been watching them for millennia. They're not trying to destroy potential rivals. They're trying to prevent something far worse. The Viridian artifacts we've hidden in your solar system. They're awakening. As if in response to her words, sensors detected new energy signatures emanating from various points in the solar system. Ancient structures, previously invisible to their instruments, were becoming active. What are they? Rashid demanded, watching as the Cathera fleet's formation shifted, some ships breaking off to move toward the newly revealed artifacts. Tools left by my people billions of years ago, Vera explained. Created to fight an enemy from outside this galaxy. The Cathera believe your species will accidentally activate them before you're ready, potentially drawing that enemy back to this realm. A massive explosion rocked the Prometheus as a Cathera beam found its mark. We can discuss ancient history later, Rashid snapped. Right now, I need to keep Earth safe. You don't understand, Vera insisted. The quantum mirror technology you've developed, it's dangerously similar to the principles that power the artifacts. Each time you use it, you risk activating them fully. Rashid watched as another wave of Cathera ships approached, their weapons charging. They had a choice to make, and seconds to make it in. All ships, he commanded, power down quantum mirrors. Switch to conventional weapons. He turned to the hologram. Keeper Vera, I hope you have a better solution, because we just gave up our biggest advantage. The elderly Viridian smiled. Look to Jupiter's largest moon. We left something there, Commander. Something that might help us find a better way. As the battle raged on, a team of ships broke away from the main fleet, heading toward Ganymede. Whatever secrets lay buried in that icy moon would have to be worth the risk they were taking. Because without the quantum mirrors, the combined fleet was critically outgunned. Hold the line, Rashid ordered as enemy fire intensified. Whatever's on Ganymede, we need to buy them time to find it. The stars themselves seemed to dim as the battle reached its crescendo, the fate of not just Earth, but perhaps the entire galaxy hanging in the balance. And somewhere on Ganymede, ancient machinery was stirring to life, about to change everything they thought they knew about their place in the cosmos. Lieutenant Olivia Santos guided her stealth shuttle through the chaos of battle, weaving between massive energy blasts and debris as she approached Ganymede's frozen surface. Behind her, in the shuttle's cramped cabin, Dr. Raj Kumar worked frantically with the Viridian scanning equipment Keeper Vera had provided. Any signal yet? Olivia asked, dodging a stray piece of wreckage from a destroyed Cathera vessel. Multiple readings, Raj replied, his eyes fixed on the holographic display. Whatever's down there, it's big. And it's getting stronger by the minute. Their small team included two others, Master Technician Xian Liu from the Machine Collective, whose mechanical body was specially designed for extreme environments, and Tal, a Meridian Energy Specialist whose crystalline form pulsed with nervous light. Incoming transmission from the Prometheus, Xian announced, their synthetic voice calm despite the situation. Commander Hassan's hologram appeared in the shuttle's cockpit. Lieutenant, we've got problems. The Cathera have launched a major push toward Ganymede. Whatever's down there, they want it badly enough to commit half their fleet. Understood, sir. Olivia responded, checking her tactical display. We're approaching the designated coordinates now. Any word from Keeper Vera? She's gone silent, Hassan replied grimly. Her last message mentioned something about the key to understanding. You're on your own for this one, Lieutenant. Good luck. The transmission ended just as they entered Ganymede's thin atmosphere. Olivia engaged the shuttle's stealth systems, though she doubted they'd fool the Cathera's advanced sensors for long. There, Tal called out, their crystalline form flashing with excitement. Energy signature matching viridian patterns beneath that ridge. Olivia brought the shuttle down in a narrow canyon, using the natural formations for additional cover. As they donned their environmental suits, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The surface of Ganymede was a maze of ice and rock, sculpted by billions of years of cosmic radiation and tidal forces. Their suits' heads-up displays marked the path toward the energy signature, leading them deeper into a network of natural caverns. These formations aren't natural, Xin observed, their sensors scanning the crystalline patterns in the ice. The entire cave system has been engineered at the molecular level. Raj nodded, consulting his instruments. It's like the ice itself has been programmed. But the technology required for this, it's beyond anything we've ever encountered. They reached a chamber deep within the moon's crust, where the ice gave way to something else, a material that seemed to shift between solid and energy with each passing moment. Look at this, Tal whispered, their own crystalline form resonating with the chamber's energy. It's like a massive quantum computer, but the processing medium is space-time itself. Before they could investigate further, a new presence filled the chamber. A holographic figure materialized, not Keeper Vera, but a Kethera warrior, its crystalline form more elaborate and ancient-looking than those they'd encountered before. I am Nexus Archive Vorkath, the being announced. You have entered the Chamber of Convergence. Know that we have allowed this. Olivia raised her weapon, though she suspected it would be useless against a hologram. Allowed it? You've been trying to kill us since we left Earth. No, Vorkath corrected. We have been testing you. The violence was regrettable, but necessary. We needed to know if your species could comprehend the responsibility of what lies dormant here. The chamber's walls suddenly came alive with images, star maps, technical diagrams, and something else. Massive objects moving between galaxies, consuming everything in their path. The Devourers, Vorkath explained. They come from beyond the galactic void, drawn to advanced civilizations. The Viridians created weapons to fight them, but the cure proved almost as dangerous as the disease. When the Viridians vanished, they left us, the Kethera, as guardians. Guardians? Raj asked, incredulous. You've destroyed entire civilizations. Only those who would have accidentally activated the weapons before they were ready, Vorkath responded. But your species, you created the quantum mirror technology independently. You showed wisdom in deactivating it when warned. You demonstrated the potential we've waited eons to find. The chamber hummed with increasing energy. Xion's sensors went wild as new data flooded their systems. The chamber is activating, they announced. It's downloading information directly into my quantum core. The combined knowledge of the Viridians and the Kethera, Vorkath explained. Everything we know about the Devourers, about the weapons created to fight them, and about the true nature of space-time itself. Your species has proven worthy of this legacy. Suddenly, the chamber shook violently. Tal's crystalline form flashed in alarm. Multiple Kethera ships entering the atmosphere. They're not responding to Vorkath's signals. The hologram's form flickered with what looked like concern. Rebels within our own ranks. They believe no species should hold this power. You must complete the download and escape. The knowledge must survive. Olivia made a quick decision. Xin, continue the download. Tal, use your crystalline resonance to stabilize the chamber. Raj, help me set up defensive positions. We hold until that download is complete. As they rushed to their tasks, Vorkath's hologram washed with what might have been approval. Perhaps, the ancient being mused, this is why the Viridians chose your world for their most important repository. Not because you were ready, but because you would be ready when the time came. The chamber's energy reached a crescendo as the first explosions rocked the surface above. Olivia checked her weapon's charge and took position near the entrance. They were about to find out if humanity was truly ready for its next great leap, assuming they survived the next few minutes. In space above them, the battle continued to rage. But now, everything had changed. The question was no longer about defending Earth, but about protecting knowledge that could save the entire galaxy. and somehow, humanity had ended up at the center of it all. Admiral Marcus Blackstone watched from the bridge of the newly commissioned EAS Harbinger as the combined fleet regrouped near Saturn's rings. The massive vessel, built in secret using a fusion of Earth, Meridian, and machine collective technology, represented humanity's first true step into advanced space warfare. But today, he hoped it would help secure peace instead. "Status of the Ganymede team?" he asked, eyes fixed on the tactical display showing the approaching Cathera rebel fleet. "Lieutenant Santos and her team are en route to rendezvous, sir," reported Commander Iris Zhang, his executive officer. "They've successfully retrieved the Viridian data, but they're being pursued by rebel Cathera forces." The tactical display shifted, showing new quantum signatures emerging from Jupiter's space. The rebel Cathera ships, their crystalline hulls crackling with violent energy, were gaining on Santos' shuttle. "Launch Intercept Squadron," Marcus ordered. "And get me Nexus Archive Vorkath." The ancient Cathera's hologram appeared on the bridge, its form somehow more substantial than before. "Admiral, the rebels have accessed forbidden weapons from our sealed archives. They would rather destroy the Viridian legacy than see it pass to another species." "Then let's show them why that's a mistake," Marcus replied. "Dr. Wei, are you ready?" The scientist's hologram appeared alongside Vorkath's. "The Harbinger's systems are fully integrated with the Viridian data Xion transmitted. We understand now what we're truly dealing with." The rebel fleet opened fire, their quantum dissolution beams carving paths through space. But this time, the combined fleet was ready. The Harbinger's new shields, based on principles learned from the Viridian archives, absorbed the energy completely. "All ships, implement Protocol Dawn," Marcus commanded. Across the fleet, crews activated the new defensive systems. The rebels' weapons were rendered useless, their energy dispersed harmlessly into subspace. "Admiral," Iris called out. Multiple signatures detected at the edge of the system. "The Devourers, they're here." The tactical display lit up with massive objects emerging from the void between galaxies. They defied normal space-time, their forms shifting between dimensions as they approached. They sensed the awakening of the Viridian technology, Vorkath explained, his holographic form flickering with concern. "We've drawn their attention." Marcus stood from his command chair. "Then it's time to show them why that was a mistake. Dr. Wei, activate the Harbinger's primary system." Deep within the massive ship, machinery that merged human innovation with Viridian principles hummed to life. The ship's quantum core, designed by Jun Wei and enhanced by the machine collective, began to pulse with power that could be felt through the hull. "To all ships," Marcus broadcast, his voice reaching every vessel in the combined fleet. "What we do here today will determine the fate of not just humanity, but all sentient life in our galaxy. The Viridians didn't leave us weapons, they left us understanding. Understanding of how space, time, and consciousness itself were interconnected. The Harbinger's main array activated, sending out waves of quantum energy that reshaped space-time itself. The Devourers, massive as they were, found themselves caught in a web of altered reality. Now tall?" Marcus ordered. The Meridian crystal being, interfaced directly with the Harbinger's systems, began to resonate at frequencies revealed in the Viridian archives. The crystalline technology of the Cathera ships, both loyal and rebel, responded automatically. Space itself seemed to sing as energies beyond human comprehension flowed through the fleet. The Devourers, for the first time in their ancient existence, faced something they couldn't simply consume. "They're not trying to destroy us, Dr. Wei's voice held wonder as new data flowed through the ship's sensors. "They're trying to evolve, to transcend their destructive nature. The Viridians didn't build weapons, they built a bridge." Understanding dawned across the fleet as the truth became clear. The Devourers weren't invaders, but lost children of the cosmos, trapped in a cycle of consumption. The Viridians had created a way to help them evolve beyond it. "All ships, maintain the quantum field," Marcus ordered. "We're not here to fight. We're here to help them transform." The battle became something else entirely. Ships from every species maintained formation, creating a vast network of quantum energy that surrounded the Devourers. The rebel Cathera, seeing the truth of their ancestors' work, stood down. Hours passed as the transformation took place. The Devourers, their vast forms bathed in the combined energy of multiple civilizations, began to change. Their destructive nature dissolved, replaced by something new, something that could communicate and coexist with other life forms. As the light faded and the quantum fields dissipated, Marcus looked around his bridge. Humans worked alongside aliens of various species, all united in a cause greater than any single civilization. "Admiral," Iris called out softly, "we're receiving a transmission from the transformed Devourers." The bridge crew watched in awe as a new form of consciousness made first contact. The message was simple but profound. "Thank you for helping us remember who we were meant to be."